Have you ever just looked at your finances and felt stuck? I mean, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, right? You're budgeting, you're saving, you're skipping that expensive coffee, but it feels like you're just running in place. If that sounds anything like you, you are in the exact right spot. We're going to dive into a totally different way of thinking about money, one that goes way beyond the usual advice. Let's get into it.
This quote from entrepreneur Sharan Srivatsaa just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up that feeling of frustration when you're playing a game, but the rules you learn don't seem to get you the win. You're not making it up. You're working your tail off. Maybe you're even investing a little. But that financial scoreboard, it's just not moving the way you want it to.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's so easy to blame yourself, to think, man, I must have missed something, or I'm just not disciplined enough. But what if the problem isn't you at all? What if the problem is the rule book itself? Okay, let's start by talking about the advice that has so many of us caught in what I like to call the money trap. It's that conventional wisdom that sounds really smart on the surface, but might actually be holding you back without you even realizing it. Just think about it for a second. All the standard advice is about playing defense. Budget from what you have. Cut those subscriptions. Don't make impulse buys. And look, those aren't necessarily bad things, but they're all based on a mindset of scarcity. It's all about pinching pennies. The wealthy, though, they don't just play defense, they play offense, using a completely different set of principles.
And that right there brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. Money doesn't really follow rules, it follows laws. These are universal principles that, once you really get them, change the entire game. This is where we flip the switch from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance and creation.
Okay, now what's so telling about this slide is the contrast. On the left, you've got the rules, and they're all about managing what you already have. But on the right, you've got the laws the wealthy operate by. And these are all about multiplication. Let's quickly run through them. Leverage is using other people's money to multiply your returns. Asymmetry is about finding bets with a huge potential upside and a really small downside. Speed is just being able to act fast. And control is about owning and influencing your assets. You see, they're not just playing the game, they're changing the score. So let's break down the most powerful one of all, leverage.
So, leverage. What is it really? Well, in the simplest terms, it's using other people's resources, usually their money, to generate returns for yourself. It's a tool that multiplies everything. It can massively blow up your growth or, and this is important, if you're reckless, it can accelerate your downfall. But understanding it is absolutely critical if you want to build wealth.
This chart just makes the whole concept crystal clear. Imagine you're buying a $1 million house. If you pay all cash and its value goes up 10%, you've made a 10% return. Pretty straightforward. But what if you only put $200,000 down and borrow the rest? That same 10% increase in the home's value gives you a 50% return on your actual cash investment. That is the insane power of leverage in action. It's a total game changer.
So if leverage is this powerful secret weapon, what's the best way for most of us to actually use it? The answer might surprise you. It's not about diving headfirst into real estate or complicated stocks tomorrow. It's about focusing on the number one leverage point you already have.
This quote from investor Sahil Bloom is everything. It's so true. So many of us sweat over trying to squeeze an extra 1 or 2% out of our investments while completely ignoring the biggest financial engine we have, our ability to earn more money in the first place.
Let's just put this into perspective, okay? Going from a 6% to an 8% return on a $100,000 portfolio, that gets you an extra $2,000 a year. That's nice, but is that really the best place to put all your focus and energy? Compare that to learning a new skill that adds $10, $20, or even $50,000 to what you earn every year. It's not even in the same league.
So here's the crucial takeaway. Your most valuable asset isn't your stock portfolio or your savings account, especially when you're starting out. It's you. It's your skills, your knowledge, your ability to create value for other people. Investing in your human capital, that's the ultimate form of leverage. It offers returns that absolutely dwarf anything you're going to find in the market.
Okay, so if the mission is to leverage our own skills to increase our earning power, what's the most direct way to do that? Well, for a whole lot of people, the answer is finding an online side hustle. So let's get practical and explore a toolkit you can use to get started.
And the great thing here is that there isn't just one right path. The whole key is finding something that clicks with your skills, your schedule, and your personality. So what kind of side hustler are you? Let's take a look at some of the main options. So, based on research from NerdWallet, we can basically group most online income opportunities into 4 big buckets. You've got the gig worker, the freelancer, the asset earner, and the entrepreneur. Seeing it broken down like this makes it seem a lot less intimidating, right? Let's look at each one.
First up, the on-demand gig worker. This path is all about speed and getting started easily. If you need to make cash like right now, and you have a car, a bike, or just some free time, platforms like Uber, DoorDash, or TaskRabbit can get you earning almost immediately. The payout is quick, and there's almost no barrier to entry.
Next up, the professional freelancer. Now, if you already have specialized skills from your day job, like you're a writer, a programmer, a designer, or you're just incredibly organized, this path is for you. Platforms like Upwork and Fiverr let you charge a much higher hourly rate by basically cashing in on the expertise you've already built.
Our third path is the asset and micro-earner. This is perfect for people who want to make money from things they already own, like renting out a spare room on Airbnb or their car on Turo. This category also includes those pocket change gigs like testing websites or selling your old clothes online. It's all about finding low-effort ways to create some extra income streams.
And finally, we've got the creative entrepreneur. Now, you got to know, this path is a long game. It's about building a brand, an audience, or a digital product over time. Think starting a YouTube channel, selling handmade stuff on Etsy, or creating an ebook to sell on Gumroad. The money is slow to start, for sure, but the potential for long-term, scalable income is absolutely huge.
Okay, so all that sounds great in theory, but we need a serious reality check. What's it actually like to work for one of these online platforms? Let's zoom in on a real-world example of an AI writing gig called Aligner based on what actual users have been saying online.
This slide really gives us the full balanced picture. The pros are super compelling. You see potentially high pay, the work is interesting, you're training AI, and you don't need prior experience. But the cons, they're very real too. A ton of users complain they can never get any jobs, you're dealing with frustrating bots for support, and some have even reported really serious issues with getting paid. The point is this, these opportunities are out there, but they are not magic. You got to do your homework.
So, we've busted the myth of money rules, we've discovered the power of laws like leverage, we shifted our focus to earning, and we've walked through a whole toolkit of side hustles. Now for the big one. How do you put it all together and turn all this knowledge into actual action?
You know, here's a fascinating little insight. The absolute best investors in the world, guys like Warren Buffett, they don't just wing it. They don't rely on a gut feeling or try to remember every single detail. They use systems. And more specifically, they use checklists to make sure they're focusing on what truly matters and making smart, repeatable decisions.
And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important question. This isn't just about picking a side hustle off a list. It's about building your own personal system for creating wealth. So as you look toward the future, what's on your checklist? Is it going to be developing a new skill, starting a freelance profile, figuring out how to monetize an asset? The old rules didn't work. It's time to start operating by your own laws. What's your first move?